Hello, my friends. So remember how yesterday I was like, oh, the power's back. Well, it went off like right after that and it stayed off for the rest of the day. It came on, thankfully, last night. But y'all, so many people still don't have power around here. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. So if I disappear, because listen, we still don't have cell service if we leave the house. We only have it if the power is on. So if I disappear, I'm okay. The power, it just keeps going off and on. I'll tell you one place that did have power, and I noticed that it had power because I had my eye on some. just a little quick trip. I live way too close to an Ulta, and they were open today. And these are new colors in the Dazzle Gel, and I want to use them. So we'll do one eye, and then we'll do the other one later. I want to film it. Or maybe I'll hop off and film it, and then we'll come back and talk about it. Doesn't that look like an oil spill? Oh, let's shut it before we do have an oil spill. So that's the new, I believe this is a new shade too. This is definitely new. The one I just showed you, that's Onyx Void. And then Bronzite Fusion. But remember, once they dry and you tap them, they basically turn into sparkle chaos of wonderfulness. All right, so let's do some makeup. Let's just grab Capulets. I feel like I haven't worn this one in a while. We're just gonna use this as our base. Let's just throw that on. Whenever I do a kind of a sparkly lid situation, I'll just do a nice warm crease. I'm also still not in my perfect creative mindset quite yet, but I missed my room and my makeup, and I miss all of y'all so much. So we're not gonna get too wild today. But I had to get up here and hang out with y'all. Y'all honestly make me feel so much better. Oh, I love Capulets. And I really liked this formula the other day. This is the Jane Iredale Shadow Stick. And this shade is really perfect. I'm just going to use it here to kind of clean up. I do feel like shadow sticks dry faster than liquid shadows. So I'm going to do one eye at a time. And I'm just pressing, and I use that shade to clean up and control and transition. See that difference? So easy. Oh, and don't forget, this is usually $135. We have it on sale. I do not come on the bag though, unfortunately. I wish I did. I'm just here, hey, watching you do your makeup. Please. Let me have it, y'all. It's been a wild few days. Okay, so you get obviously all 5 of the brushes. The bag is included. It's usually $135, but right now it's only $75. I'm so excited. So many of you have already added it to your collection, and y'all are loving it. So we're so excited, and we're just excited for this deal. So just want to remind y'all. Listen, I'm sorry. The power, I mean, it didn't go out. No, it didn't. But you know what did happen? I'll tell you what happened. Have y'all ever had the cinnamon Chex before? It's like a churro, but cereal. So I decided I want to film this separately, but y'all will see it. It will be posted here tomorrow. We're going to do that. But we'll just put something simple on my lid, but I'm trying to figure out what I want to put on my lid because I want it to be more simple because I'm going to wipe it off. This is a lot of information, but I feel I need to share it with you. Actually, let's do a yellow lid. Let's do a white base really quickly. White is just going to enhance yellow. Because yellow, well, the yellow I'm going to use has quite a bit of white in it, so this is just going to really make it pop. Let's smooth that out with our C31. That was from Melt Cosmetics. I really like this white base. Let's make sure we get it over that way. That should do it. So let's use this yellow. We're going to grab it on the side of an E28 and I'm going to pack it on so it's really intense. I feel like yellow is a shade that we forget about, but yellow is in a lot of the bronzers, the foundations, the lipsticks. Even if we have a cool undertone, it can be in a nude lipstick. It's in so many things. It's in blushes. So it's really a color that's flattering, especially if you have a warm crease like I have right now. It can be a very flattering color. So don't be afraid of yellow. And then I'm going to take my bronzer, which there would actually be yellow in this. Even though it's not a super yellowy shade, yet like I mentioned, yellow is just something that's used in our cosmetics quite a bit. So I'm just kind of creating a little bit more of a transition, tie all that together. Softening it into the socket a little bit. And then once I add my bronzer later, it'll even look more seamless. So if you ever do a neutral look, I always like to add a little bit of my bronzer, even if it's the tiniest amount, just through the top part here of the transition, because it'll make everything look very seamless later once you have your bronzer on. I'm gonna do a little baby brown wing. So I ordered more of the liner that's on my story. It was so on sale, could not believe it, literally my favorite. But I don't have brown in that. I didn't even know there was brown in that, so I'm gonna use this one. This one's from Too Faced. I actually really like this liner. It's really, really precise. It's a very skinny brush tip, but it's brown, so I'm just doing a little bit of a brown wing. Do y'all hear that snoring? That's actually Dougie. And if you're new here, Dougie's my doggie. And then I have Gene, who is a big orange cat, and he's usually the one that snores even louder. But I also don't want to add too much of my lash line because I want to take this off later to film somewhere. Another reason I went with yellow is because obviously I love it, but it's also a really easy color to remove. Listen, me and these lashes, anytime I use lashes now that have actual glue, I have to apply in fits. I don't think I'm gonna be able to go back. I want more styles. I wish we had more styles. I actually don't know how many styles there are, but I know I want more. I want some that are a little bit smaller too, because I want y'all to experience them, and I know that these are still considered a little extra floofy. So it would be nice if we had this, because they're self-adhesive. If you're new here, I need to remember, there's some new friends here joining us. I don't know if y'all saw, but one of my last videos had 30 million views. 30 million views. So we have new friends. And usually, y'all, there's more education in a daily story. But if you're joining us for the first time or one of the first times, it's not normally like this. There's usually a story tutorial Monday through Friday. Thursdays, we just kind of talk about product. But where I live, we had Hurricane Beryl come through, so it's been a little off, but we're going to be 100% back to normal by next Monday for sure. I'm still going to be here. I'm going to do the tutorials, but I'm even a little off myself. So it's normally there's normally a better flow. So stick around. If you did get these lashes, by the way, I definitely trim them, but I want you to make sure that you have some lash tweezers, because they activate with body heat. So they kind of have to sit there for a second, and then I take these tweezers and I just pinch my natural lash, and I'm pinching it kind of right to the skin on top of my actual lash. So it's right there on that skin. And when I tell you these do not move, they do not move. Okay, so I'm gonna use this concealer, and I was recording it and then I don't know what happened. But if you see this, look at how good that color is down here. I'm a little uneven down here, hives. We're done talking about that. But it's so compatible to certain parts of my chest. It's really good. I like this concealer. It's literally called High Coverage Liquid Concealer. If you're wanting coverage, so this is going to be one of the more full coverage situations. You have to want coverage. I know I'm saying coverage a lot, but I'm just letting y'all know this one is going to give you. What's it going to give you? It's going to give you some coverage. Also, if you want to keep that coverage, you'll notice that I'm pressing. The pressing is very important, because swiping, even if you have the most full coverage foundation and you swipe, you kind of run that risk of losing coverage. All right, I won't say it anymore. Now around my eye, I'm going to use my C32, which we should have a date for the restock on this very soon. We probably should have had it by now, but we weren't able to make our meetings. So we're going to get everything back under control today and tomorrow and Friday. And then we will have a restock date for you. Woo, that looks airbrushed. So most of y'all who are here with me every single day, you'll notice I have a little freckle here. that concealer, this is one of the only concealers I've ever seen that I just did a dot and it disappeared. This stuff is so good. It really is full coverage, but I promise you, it is not heavy. It's not heavy at all. It just has a lot of, so the Natasha Denona also has a lot of pigment, but the way that this spreads across the skin, it's going to be thicker, but sometimes thicker isn't a bad thing. What can happen is it just has a more marshmallow effect on the skin. That's a really good way to describe it. So it's just this marshmallow puff veil of color. So it's a marshmallow puff veil of color. That makes sense in my mind. So we're gonna do our peach powder. Tonight I'm actually gonna be posting an ad for One Size. It's the comparison between peach and pink. It's also very, very helpful. This is not an ad, remember. If it was, it would say ad. I literally have nothing to hide at this point. We are 10 years in. We don't do that. But it's a really fun video, and it shows you kind of another way that you can use the powders. So if we're doing an ad, it's generally going to be helpful. But I'm just using the peach shade right now. I didn't want too bright of an under eye. And also that peach is gonna be really pretty with the bronzer. So I'm just gonna set my under eye for right now. Back in with our YSL bronzer and our C40. Remember to hold it further back at the stamp. That way it does the transition for you. It's all about how you hold it. Just let that transition up onto the cheekbone. And then a little bit there. All right, this is pretty, but this is so pigmented. I want to use it though. So we're going to take our C41, okay? We're going to grab it only on the front of the brush and look at how lightly we're going to touch it. Okay? I'm afraid that we're going to pick up too much. What you're seeing me look at how much it even deposited just then. But it's always better to be very mindful with how much we're picking up than to put a lot on and then have to fix it. My mom's on the phone and the kitty cat opened the door. It is wild around here. Let's do a darker lip. I love these. They got put into a different drawer. I'm gonna grab a lip. I'm gonna grab a lip liner, and I might add more, but I want to use this. I want to have it already on my lips so I can blend my lip liner easier. So this is what I'm talking about, the Rare Beauty new powder. This is shade Ivory, and as you can see, I've been able to test it, and I only have powder underneath my eyes. Remember, I still haven't set anything. I'm gonna grab a puff, and I'm just gonna press this in to go ahead and set this stuff. It's nice. I'll show you with back camera. You'll see how blurring it is. It's so hard to see with front camera. I've even stopped really using. I have to use it for the stories because it would almost be impossible to do this many slides with back camera, but that's why I always show it at the end. Look at how blurring. I'm just gonna do one side. But you can still see. And it has what I like to call the perfect amount of pigment. So it's actually going to have some pigment to it. It's not, because there's different shades. You can see here's a different shade. This one is porcelain. And then I'm using the shade Ivory, which is really perfect for me. So most finishing powders are very translucent, but like I said, this one has color to it, and that's what I love. But it's obviously not gonna have as much color as a powder foundation. And using a powder foundation at this stage could be too much because then it could leave a cast on the blush. So I just love how this has the perfect amount of pigment. And I really haven't seen a finishing powder, which is something, finishing means the end. I haven't seen one that has this perfect amount of tint to finish the makeup, and I think it's really, really nice. I really think that y'all are gonna like this. I'm not sure if it's available yet. I can go check that out, but it's something that I've had a while. In fact, I don't even know if I'm supposed to show this part, but I was sent one that literally has like this undercover like lab sticker on it. So I've had it a while. I mean, even with back camera, you can see that my face looks filtered. I'm telling you, it's really, really good product. I was really excited when I saw that I could talk about it. So it's something that I think we'll like it. And there's going to be different shades in it too. I just went and checked. It comes out July 18th, so it comes out next week. But again, I do want to chat about it because I get excited about certain products, and this isn't just another pressed powder because it's going to be a thinner veil than powder foundation, but it's a finishing powder, and finishing means blurring, kind of bringing everything together. And what makes this special is it's slightly tinted. So most finishing powders, if you grab one, are going to look like this one from YSL. This is going to be a great demonstration. And I feel that if we have one in our skin tone, you're not going to get a cast like this. So this is a normal finishing powder, and then to have one in our actual shade is just on another level of perfect. So I'm very, very excited to have a tinted finishing powder. All right, friends, I love you all so much. That's gonna be it for today. I'll be back tomorrow. We're getting back in the swing of things. I hear thunder right now and I'm like, I don't like storms. I really don't. But I love you all so much. And I'm going to go film a couple more things. I'm gonna go film some, I don't want to say contour because it's not going to be technically contour, but some shaping placement and kind of a quick little trick to find places to place it. So I want to go film that. I'm going to go film these and get ready for tonight's post where we compare. Remember how I said I wanted to compare the pink and the peach? Well, it's nice that, you know, when brands reach out and they say, hey, let me support that post. So it's really great that brands even want to help me continue educating and helping others. It's just really nice when brands do that. But I love you all so much, and I will see you in the comments tonight.